Good morning, everybody, and welcome to DMS3000 News Live. It's Monday, June 12th, 2023, and on today's show, we're going to be looking at all of the headlines, sports updates, horoscopes. Our main topic today is cyberbullying, cyber trolling, all the things that lead to bad things happening in the internet. We're going to look at every one of those things and give you our take on what should be done and how to prevent yourself from falling into that trap. When we come back, we'll look at all of the things that you need to do to take care of yourself today on DMS 3000 News Live, coming at you right now. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jason DeCanio. It is Monday, June 12th, 2023. This is episode 3 of DMS 3000 News Live, and we hope you had a fantastic weekend. We're going to be looking today at the headlines and get you started on this Monday morning, and let's take a look and see what we got to do, because we have a lot to look at and a lot to go over later on in the program. Right now, a section of I-95 in Philadelphia has collapsed after a tanker truck fire. Images shared by the city and on social media show a short section of the highway caved in on the road below. Lanes in both directions were closed. LA's top makeout spots hint at the city constantly evolving. Yes, the creation of the automobile gave rise to a new kind of freedom and privacy, while also transforming Los Angeles into the sprawling, car-centric metropolis it is today. Trump's federal indictment will loom large as Congress returns to session. Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who was elected to the post with Trump's support after 15 contentious rounds of votes, said House Republicans will get to the bottom of the investigation into Trump. Children as young as 12 work legally on farms despite years of efforts to change the law. And as some states look to roll back child labor laws, Democrats in Congress introduced a bill to increase protections for children working in agriculture that would raise the minimum age to 14. The special ingredient for Mars travel meal prep, astronaut prep. Chemical physicist Stafford Sheenan invented a process that can turn carbon dioxide into yeast. It's now a finalist in the NASA-sponsored Deep Space Food Challenge. The U.S. dollar conquered the world. Is it at risk of losing its top spot? Well, the dollar has helped make the U.S. the most economically powerful country for most of the last century. But other countries, including rivals like China, have the greenback on their sites. And thousands of Reddit communities go dark in protest of new developer fees. More than 6,000 so-called subreddits are participating in a 48-hour boycott aimed at pressuring the company to reverse its new fees for accessing the company's internal data. In culture, nation's first drag laureate kicks off Pride in San Francisco. A nightclub owner, artist, and newly elected government official is joining Pride festivities as other U.S. cities consider appointing drug laureates. And anti-dopamine parenting can curb kids' craving for screens or sweets. Dopamine is part of our brain's survival mechanism. It's also a part of why sugary foods and social media hooked kids. The latest neuroscience can help parents help their kids manage behavior. And 60 years ago, Medgar Evers became a martyr of the civil rights movement. Evers was assassinated at his home in Jackson, Mississippi, by a Ku Klux Klan member. While other leaders pushed for equal equality across the U.S., Evers focused on his native Mississippi. And UBS finishes takeover of Credit Suisse and deal meant to stem global financial turmoil. The UBS said Monday that it has completed its takeover of embattled rival Credit Suisse in a bid to safeguard Switzerland's reputation as a global financial center and choke off market turmoil. 3 people are dead and 3 wounded in a shooting at a Maryland home, police say. Annapolis Police Chief Edward Jackson said at a media briefing that the shooting stemmed from what he described as an interpersonal dispute and that there was no further threat to the public. And there you have it, folks. That is a look at the headlines for today, Monday, June 12th, 2023. Oh, look who's here. It's our wonderful CEO and boss. May I introduce to the panel today Mr. David St. Dennis. Welcome aboard.
Hello there, Jason.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, and had a great weekend. I went to the Blue Sox on Thursday, met Louis Tignon, and then went to my grandparents for the rest of the weekend. And then we tried the hockey fight on Saturday at the Stanley Cup. That was the TV right at the end. That was crazy.
That's why you go to a hockey game, because the fights are fantastic. That's the best part of the whole game is the fights. Better than a boxing match, you know?
Yeah. You know, if you want to see fights and not wrestling, then go to hockey, you know?
That's it, yeah. I'd say that's what I always say. I would love to see, but the problem down here in Florida is we only have a minor league hockey team. We don't have professional hockey, except down in the Tampa Bay and in the Miami area. So I wish Orlando would get a professional hockey team, make the Solar Bears part of the NHL. That would be really nice, you know?
Sure thing.
So it's a far-fetched dream. I don't know what's going to happen, but unfortunately, you know. So you managed to get up this morning. I managed to get up at 5:30, and I didn't sleep past my alarms because I started on time today.
That's good.
That's right. But do you have some great news for us? Because I know you're on here.
1,000 subscribers.
Did you hear that, folks? 1,000 subscribers to the David3000 Network. Took us 6 months to do it, but we finally got it, man.
That's right, 1,000 subscribers.
Fantastic. That is it. And we can't do it without you guys. We thank you very much. Is there any planned festivities, specials, shows we should be looking out for that are going to coming up this week? Or we should have a week-long celebration, you know?
Well, since I was very busy this weekend, I couldn't get car trucks and Gambit in times. But, however, we do have Sharing 1,000 Hands, my 1,000 subscriber special for that there this afternoon. And then there this Wednesday, I'll be doing the season 2 premiere of Super Password that'll be airing here on the David3000 Network.
That's right. Yep. And don't forget, tonight we'll be recording the Tournament of Champions, the first show of the Tournament of Champions that concluded season 2. Is going to happen tonight. We've got our celebrities ready to go, so I'm not going to tell you who's going to be on it, but Brandon Martin did send me the celebrities for all of that goodies for tonight. So,
gotcha.
And there will be no recording of Blockbusters or Joker's Wild tonight because our friend Brandon Scruggs is out with his beautiful wife having a birthday today. Happy birthday, Mrs. Scruggs!
Happy birthday!
Yes, hope you enjoy your day and. You know, maybe you'll get that wonderful dessert you've always been craving for. Something's going to happen. I don't know. But
yeah, sure.
That's, you know. So we did the headlines today. Hey, since you're here, my friend, why don't we go ahead and look at the sports scores and everything? Because, you know, why not?
The Red Sox beat the Yankees last night at Yankee Stadium.
It's that
2 out of 3.
Boy, that makes you happy. Did you guys take? What did you guys? Did you take the series? Did you take the series, or was it 2
That's what I said. We took the series at Yankee Stadium. 2 out of 3.
So, yeah, to get yourself back to 500, though. You're hanging around at 500.
Yeah, because he was struggling a little bit. You know, our defense has been the biggest problem, but along with some other injuries, but we're trying to get back on track and. Also, the AL East is the toughest division in baseball. If we were in the if we were in the AL Central right now, we'd be in first place.
Oh
But
yeah,
but however, with the Tampa Bay Rays, the Baltimore Orioles, etc., we're
Toronto
in
Blue Jays.
yes, we're in last place. So,
Yeah,
and that's what it is. But that's how the best division in baseball works, folks.
that's it. That's the way it goes. I mean, you could be playing your best baseball, but somebody could be playing better than you, and you got to remember that. That 33 and 33 is just not going to hang. It's not going to get you a playoff spot. Hanging around 500 is not going to help.
Yeah, but we've been playing 500 ball, throughout the season so far. We're just trying to, when when you yes, we had a 7 game money streak earlier in the season, but now that doesn't matter because look where we're at right now. We're still playing at 500.
mhm.
We're not gonna talk about how the Mets are doing, but
Oh, geez. Don't even get me started on it. I mean, you haven't seen me on the dugout crew for like 3 weeks. It's the same, I don't even know why I'm going on there anymore. It's to report the same garbage. Look, the
yes,
people have spoken, folks. And I'm going to speak it on my show here, since it's kind of safe. I don't have to worry about waiting around the round table for it. But I can tell you that for for all intents purposes, the Mets are just doing fantastically terrible.
yep,
You notice I put the word fantastically terrible in there just to kind of like spice it up. But let's go through
yeah.
the rest of the games that happened last night, yesterday.
I'm gonna
Matt,
go.
oh,
I'm gonna
this was
go.
yeah. Let me. Are you
Um,
gonna go?
yeah. So I'll
Okay.
see you there.
All right. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on. We
Yep.
appreciate it. Have a good one. All right, that was our CEO and owner of the David3000 Network, David St. Dennis, who's always welcome here on this show, anytime, any place, anywhere. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and look at the games. Continue on here. It was the Diamondbacks over the Tigers 7-5. The Guardians beat the Astros, shut them out 5-0. Orioles are just dominating right now. 11-3, beat the Royals. It was the Nationals 6, the Braves 2. It was the Phillies over the Dodgers 7-3. Pirates take 2 out of 3 from the Mets, go and beat them 2-1. It was the Blue Jays over the Twins 7-6. The Rays still hot. The hot Rays 7-3 over the Rangers. It was the Marlins over the White Sox 6-5. The Athletics, look at this, 8-6 over the Brewers. Wow, can't believe that. Amazing. Yep. The Reds over the Cardinals 4-3. Rockies beat the Padres 5-4. It was the Giants just slouching the Cubs 13-3. Angels over the Mariners 9-4. And like we said before, the Red Sox beat the Yankees 3-2 to really help that cause. Today's games, you've got the Braves and the Tigers at 6:40 tonight. Rockies and Red Sox go at 7:10. It is the Giants and the Cardinals at 7:45. The Angels and the Rangers at 8:05. Reds and Royals at 8:10. Marlins and Mariners at 9:40. Phillies and Diamondbacks at 9:40. And the Rays and the Athletics at 9:40. Mets are off tonight. They'll play the Yankees, a 2-game series at Citi Field tomorrow night. Let's look at the standings because this really kind of bogs the mind right now. The Rays have a 5.5 lead over the Orioles, a 9.5 over the Yankees, 10.5 over the Blue Jays, and 14 games on the Red Sox. The Twins right now are leading the AL Central, 1.5 over the Guardians, 4.5 over the White Sox, 5.5 over the Tigers, and 14.5 over the Royals. And in the West, it is the Texas Rangers at 41-23, 5 games on the Astros, 6.5 on the Angels, 10 on the Mariners, and 25.5 on the Athletics. But the Athletics are making a run, and their record right now at 17-50. In the National League, the Braves have been the first or second team to actually hit 40 wins. 40-25 right now. They have a 3.5 lead over the Marlins and 8 games on the Phillies, 9 games on the Mets, and 13.5 on the Nationals. The Pirates, they are dominating the NL Central at 34-30. They only are leading the Brewers by 1 game right now in the division. 4 on the Reds, 6.5 on the Cubs, and 8 games on the Cardinals. Who would have thought the Cardinals were in last place at this time, folks? In the NL West, the Arizona Diamondbacks, 40-25, leading the division by 3.5 over the Dodgers, 7 games on the Giants, 9 games on the Padres, and 14 games on the Rockies. Wow. Look at that. That's amazing, folks. That's divisions you would never think the teams that were placed that way. Woo! Amazing. And that is a look at the MLB scores. Let's look at the NBA and see what's going on with the NBA Finals right now. So far, Denver is dominating this finals. They play tonight, 8:30. They have a 3-1 lead right now on the Heat, and they beat the Nuggets on the 4th of June. Wait a minute. That's not even right. Hold on. How do you get a 3-1 lead? And let's see. No, Game 5 is today. Wow. Game 5. Okay, I'm looking at I don't know what's going on here. Game 1, Game 2. Okay, here we go. All right. Game 4 was this past Friday, and the Nuggets won 108-95, beating up on the Heat. The Heat have only won 1 game, and that was Game 2, where they tied up the series. But the Nuggets have shown that they are a force to be reckoned with here. So if you're a Nuggets fan, great. If you are a Heat fan, well, I must say, you guys won some great division games back in the time. I wish you the best of luck. I was pulling for the Nuggets myself because I thought maybe the Nuggets would have had, more of odds against them. But in this case, it looks like they have the odds with them. Good morning, Jester. How you doing? We welcome you to DMS3000 News Live. We're looking at NBA scores right now. 6:17 right here at the WJDC studios. So don't forget to kind of keep intact with that. Let's look at the Cup Finals, because this right now, NHL is wrapping up. Right now, the Vegas Golden Knights have a 3-1 lead on the Florida Panthers, with the Golden Knights winning on Saturday 3-2. I've said this before and I'll say it again. This Vegas Golden Knights team has shown some real poise since their inaugurational season began 3 years ago. They have really shown what a force to be reckoned with they are. And every year they have come out showing something else. I'm not sure what it is. If it's endurance, if it's speed, if it's just total whacking of the teams against the boards, the goalie. You're talking about a team that's going to could win this whole series tonight, tomorrow night at 8:00 in Vegas. Game 5. That's where it's going to be. All right. So that's a look at sports. And I'll tell you, folks, lots to look at for that particular situation there. Now, let's go to horoscopes, because we are going to wrap up this first half hour with some horoscopes today. Looking good. Come on. Get it in there. Here's your general daily horoscope for today. This is June 12th, 2023. Today's fire is fueling us to push forward. The moon is in ambitious Aries, where she will immediately trine Mars in Leo at 8:35 this morning, setting us up to chase after our goals with unflagging energy. With Mars on our side, we can blast well over the finish line. The moon will follow this up with an effective sextile to the sun in chatty Gemini, so be willing to talk to people and partner up in pursuit of your objectives. And there's your general daily insight. For you Aries today, you have this to deal with. There is no shortage of positivity on a day like this. You're absolutely glowing as the moon flies through your sign, lighting you up from within. And this vigor is even more enhanced when the moon trines Mars in your lucky fifth house. This combination will make fun your number one priority, and it shouldn't require much effort to find it. If possible, leave your chores for another day and pursue pleasure. It's ready and waiting for you to come and get it. For the Tauruses, more than a few things likely want your attention around the house at this time. You're likely in the mood to take things gently as the moon saunters through your soulful 12th house, and with her making a lovely trine to Mars in your foundational 4th house. Don't feel like you should leave home if you don't have to. So concentrate on easy fixes and any outstanding tasks so you don't have to worry about them anymore, like folding laundry or doing dishes. For the Geminis, the universe is humming along to a very social tune at the moment. A special trine between the moon in your 11th house of friendships and Mars in your 3rd house of local community might be about to make you one of the most popular people in your area. Call up your crew and see if they want to join you for a night of whatever you like, preferably through checking out any new spots in your neighborhood. Exciting discoveries are waiting around every corner. And for you Cancers, be prepared to burn the midnight oil. Your goals are highlighted thanks to the moon marching through your ambitious 10th house, opening up a wide road to progress. This is particularly useful when Luna collaborates with Mars in your grounded 2nd house. Aim to put one foot in front of the other rather than just thinking about the finish line, and you may find that you reach it before you even realize it. Mars can help you land an especially lucrative reward for your efforts. For the Leos, nothing can hold you back on a day like this. There is a potent trine between the moon in your adventurous 9th house and Mars in your own sign. So don't be shocked if you feel the need to broaden your horizons. Look for opportunities or experiences beyond what you would normally consider. You could find a plethora of options, all equally appealing. Mars will give you the drive to go after each of them, so there's no reason to wait another moment. For you Virgos, intense moods aren't always explainable, and that's particularly true right now. The moon is in your all or nothing 8th house, leaving you extremely sensitive to everyone else's behavior. This power will be heightened when the moon reaches out to Mars in your subconscious sector, leaving you wondering if you're missing the bigger picture. Don't let yourself overthink things. Rather than panicking, take time for yourself and focus on your own issues, no one else's. That's the best way to find peace. For me and the Libras, everyone seems to want a piece of you at present. The moon is illuminating your 7th house of relationships, tugging on your connections to the most important people in your life. That theme continues as the moon trines Mars in your 11th house of social groups. Your friends may call on you to come play, or an opportunity to join a new clique may arrive, and you don't want to miss the chance, so make an effort to spend time with everyone. Scorpios, well, baby steps add up to big strides today. There is a helpful trine occurring between the moon in your responsible 6th house and Mars in your professional 10th house. And together they're knocking down walls so you can accomplish every minor responsibility on your plate. Then turn around and make major progress. Tend to the little tasks, and you'll probably find that doing so brings your goals much closer. Someone influential may notice your capabilities and open some important doors to you. For you Sagittariuses, you're ready to pursue your pleasures Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. My computer had decided it's going to crash, which is not good. Thank you for sticking around here. It is 6:30 right now, and we were in the middle of doing the Sagittarius daily horoscope, so we're going to pick up where we left off, and then we'll go right into News of the Weird, okay? So if you're still with us, Jester and Brandon, thank you for continually sticking around here. Yeah, I know. Not good when it's freezing up like that. All right, let's look at the horoscopes again for Sagittarius. You're ready to pursue your pleasures as far as they can take you. The moon is in your lucky fifth house, so your main preoccupation is likely enjoying yourself. No hobby would be too far flung while the moon trines Mars in your boundless ninth house. So even if you normally get your kicks in the same place, consider looking for them somewhere new, because a little change could wind up providing you with more gratification than you'd ever anticipated. There's excitement waiting just out of sight. For the Capricorns, your feelings are going to be guiding you more strongly than usual. The moon is hunkered down in your fourth house of emotions, and this will be amplified when she trines Mars in your eighth house of deep bonding. And while this energy can be heavy, the angle between the planets is indeed positive, so you'd be wise to lean into your emotions and express yourself freely. Someone important may provide the catalyst for this release, and in doing so, lighten any burdens you've been carrying. For your Aquariuses today, this is the perfect day to partner up and tackle whatever's in front of you. There is a lovely trine between the moon in your busy third house and action planet Mars in your partnership-focused seventh house, crafting an ideal space to form at least one dynamic duo. This person could already be in your life or be someone you meet today while running errands, only to discover how well you click. Be friendly with others. They're probably happy to connect with you. And finally, for the Pisces today, you're currently in no mood to waste your time. You've got your mind on the money as the moon tours your second house of income and her beneficial angle to energizer Mars in your sixth house of work should ensure your efforts bear fruit. So don't worry about your frivolous matters. Staying centered on the most important things on your plate will help solidify proper compensation for your efforts. With that said, you may want to look into better paying or more stable gigs going forward. And that's the horoscopes for today, Monday, June 12th, actually. June 12th, 2023, episode 3. All right, folks. Sorry about that before. Let's go ahead and get on to News of the Weird. We have a lot to cover. There's the Andrews McMeel syndication. It's talking a lot this week. They update every Friday. And our new lead story for the week of June 9th, it's come to this. Yep. You know, in Japan, people who are just being freed from COVID mask-wearing mandates feel they've lost their ability to do a simple thing. Smile. Sky News reported that 20-year-old Himawari Yoshida, among others, has enlisted the help of a smile instructor, Kiko Kawano. I hadn't used my facial muscles much during COVID, Yoshida said. One-on-one sessions cost about $55, and Kawano has students stretch the sides of their mouths and hold up a mirror to smile into. Culturally, a smile signifies that I'm not holding a gun and I'm not a threat to you, Kawano said. Yes. And 36-year-old Karina Stanhope of Powell River, British Columbia, Canada, found a dead deer on her property. She and her grandfather set up a trail camera, hoping to catch some interesting wildlife attracted to the carcass. Instead, Fox News reported on June 6th, Stanhope reported capturing something quite different. 2 witches holding a carcass-eating ritual. Grandpa said he got naked people on the camera, and I said, no, you didn't. So he showed me, Stanhope said. She said the 2 people showed up shortly after sunset and appeared to be wearing long wigs. You can't really tell from the photos, but the hoof was brought right up to her mouth. I don't know if she was kissing it, smelling it, or eating it, but to touch a decaying carcass like that makes me feel sick. Stanhope hopes the incident was a prank. She decided not to contact police because there was no crime committed. Go as you please. A funeral company in Edinburgh, Scotland is hoping to break the taboo of talking about final arrangements, Sky News reported, by offering custom-made coffins. For instance, General Manager Scott Purvis said the company created a coffin that looked like a Dyson vacuum box for someone whose history included repairing vacuum cleaners. Most of our coffin designs come from having honest conversations with the people when they're still alive, Purvis said. Other designs they've made include a pint of Tennet's Lager and a Greg's sausage roll. Jesus. A phone repair store in Miami Gardens, Florida, was the target of a robbery in the early hours of June 3rd, NBC6 TV reported. The suspect, 33-year-old Claude Vincent Griffin, employed a brilliant disguise. He wore an ill-fitting cardboard box over his head, and he smashed the glass countertop and reached into a case, grabbing 19 iPhones and $8,000 in cash. Naturally, it's hard to see through cardboard, so Griffin at one point removed the box and revealed himself to a surveillance camera. The store's owner, Jeremiah Berganza, did some sleuthing around the area after the robber left the store and found him at a nearby liquor store drinking with friends. Griffin was charged with grand theft, burglary, cocaine possession, and resisting an officer. The Woolshed nightclub in Adelaide, Australia, is in an apology mode after running a sketchy promotion offering free drinks based on bra size. 9 News reported on June 4th. The campaign promised 1 free drink for an A cup, 2 drinks for a B cup, etc., and including hanging bras up in the bar. The bigger the better, social media posted. Patrons weren't impressed. One woman said she would choose to go somewhere else. The Woolshed apologized and said further promotions would be reviewed by senior management to ensure an inclusive environment for all patrons. And as the debate about appropriate hot dog condiments, relish, mustard, and ketchup rages on, a worker at an Española, New Mexico Sonic threw a new hat into the ring when he customized a patron's order a bit more than she liked on May 30th. Fox News reported that as the woman bit into her hot dog, she encountered a plastic bag with a white powdery substance inside. She contacted police, who tested the powder and found it to be cocaine. It seems that as Jeffrey David Salazar, he's 54 years of age, was preparing her order, he allegedly dropped his stash. Video surveillance showed that Salazar began to frantically search the area as if he had lost something. He admitted to police that he had bought the coke from someone in the restaurant parking lot. At a Lancashire, England gas station on May 23rd, Quinn Kelly stepped into the store for a snack and was shocked as he came out to see a man filling up his tank while completely nude, except for boots. 44-year-old Stuart Gilmore of Manchester was casual about it, Kelly said. He said Gilmore is a naturist and goes around naked to spread positivity and has been doing it for a few years, according to Fox News. I don't take any notice when people take photos, Gilmore said. I don't do it for attention. I'm doing it to promote naturalism and the benefits, which he said include improved mental health. Rocketry enthusiasts gathered near Alamosa, Colorado over the Memorial Day weekend to enthuse about rockets. But one person's rocket got away from them in a most convenient location, a hotel room at the Comfort Inn, according to the Alamosa News. There was a malfunction with the motherboard of the rocket, which caused the motor to catch on fire, explained Alamosa Fire Department Deputy Chief Paul Duarte. The resulting explosion caused enough pressure in the room to dislodge the drywall and panels in the ceiling to fall. The 4-foot 8-inch rocket had to be disarmed by firefighters to mitigate any further risk. Duarte didn't believe the guest was injured in the incident. Hotel clerks didn't expect any charges to be filed. And if you happen to be traveling along 29 Palms Highway in California before June 11th, Make sure you make a pit stop at the biggest, cheesiest roadside attraction to ever grace America's beloved highways and byways. KTLA TV reported that a niche pop-up store was created by the makers of Cheez-It crackers for just 1 week. But what a week! Visitors can fuel up with the world's first and only Cheez-It pump that pumps bags of the treats into your vehicle, or find rare flavors and other memorabilia. You have to be crackers not to go. And a pair of Dutch tourists hiking in mid-May in the Alpajura mountain range in Granada, Spain, got a rude reception from a mountain goat, the Daily Star reported on June 6th. The Iberian ibex, who was presumably aggressive because it was mating season, knocked a 64-year-old woman off of a cliff where she tumbled about 65 feet and landed on a ledge with both wrists broken. The goat also knocked the other person unconscious. Rescue workers, hampered by weather, took almost a week to recover the fallen hiker, who suffered hypothermia along with her broken wrists. Wow. And finally, elephants at the Houston Zoo are a limber group thanks to the yoga practice they begin learning soon after they're born. Charon reported on June 5th. In fact, 40-year-old Tess can lift her 6,500-pound body into a handstand. You know, adult elephants do the sets of exercise twice a day to help keep their joints moving and are rewarded with fruit or bread, said Kristen Wendell, the zoo's elephant manager. We want them to constantly be learning new things, she said. They are really smart and they want to be constantly working and learning. Wow. And if you will have some weird news, send your weird news items with subject line weird news to weirdnewstips@amuniversal.com. And of course, the partners at U Express, Andrews McNeil Syndication is the ones who do the news of the weird, but it was Chuck Shepard that started this whole thing, and we thank him for almost 30 years of wonderful news of the weird. WJDC studio time is 6:42. You are watching DMS 3000 News live on StreamYard. This is episode 3 for June 12th, 2023. So with that, we are going to now look at what day is today. We have some holidays to cover, and this is a good time to find out what the national holidays are today. Oh my God. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's see. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, 20, 21. Wow, we've got a lot. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27 holiday days today, folks. 27 events going on for the holidays of June 12th. And I think we'll only touch on maybe a few of them before the program ends. So let's look at something, because today, we're going to be focusing on the in the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to be looking at cyber stalking and cyber trolling and all that negative stuff that pretty much drives a wedge in the internet world, and why it's such a big thing. And you'll get my opinion on it. And I tell you, after this show, I tell you what's going to happen. I'm pretty much going to be criticized for it, but at this point, where I stand. And for those who hate me so much, so today we'll be looking at National Loving Day. Here's something that you don't see often. It's the name of this is the National Loving Day. The name of this for this day is an interesting one. The holiday is, of course, about spreading love, but ironically, it also references the names of Mildred and Richard Loving, who fought against the laws confining them and everyone else from marrying interracially. Now, the freedom to marry or not marry a person of another race resides with the individual and cannot be infringed by the state. It's hard to imagine now that there was a time when this statement wasn't true. The opposite of this was the reality in America. Every June 12th, we honor the United States Supreme Court's 1967 decision to strike down laws in several states that banned interracial marriage. The decision was sparked by Loving versus Virginia, a court case involving Richard and Mildred Loving, an interracial couple from Virginia who married in 1958. Mildred and Richard started off as childhood friends, and over the years, their friendship developed into love. On her 18th birthday in 1958, Mildred was married to Richard in Washington, after which the couple returned to their hometown. 2 weeks later, they were arrested by authorities. The two were unaware that the state where they resided considered interracial marriage to be illegal. Pleading guilty, the Lovings agreed to leave Virginia. After moving to Washington, D.C., the couple pursued legal action by writing a plea to Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy. The case was forwarded to the American Civil Liberties Union, and eventually the ruling was in the Lovings' favor. Richard and Mildred returned to their home in Virginia, where they settled with their 3 children. The couple fought back against the laws that forbid their partnership and ultimately won the right to marry. Richard and Mildred's determination changed the lives of millions of Americans and shaped the future of relationships in the country. From June 12, 1967 onward, Americans were no longer prohibited from marrying someone they loved solely because they were of different races. At the time of the Supreme Court's decision, 16 U.S. states still forbade interracial marriage, so the ruling was a necessary game changer. The holiday was not created until decades after the decision in 2004, and it was launched by Ken Tanabe, who grew up in an interracial family with a Japanese father and a Belgian mother. He launched the holiday in hopes that the day of celebration would bring together multi-ethnic families from around the world. There can be no doubt that restricting the freedom to marry solely because of racial classifications violates the central meaning of the Equal Protection Clause. Wow. So this dates all the way back to 1958, starts it, a chain reaction that goes 1958 to 67, where the Supreme Court passed a ruling. 2004, now 2016 had a motion picture. Yep. So today on this National Loving Day, it's all about celebrating love beyond boundaries. The Lovings set a precedent and have been a symbol of love against all odds for many. Their love story is cherished, with interracial married couples sharing their stories online as an inspiration to others. Messages on love and intermarriages are encouraged and shared online, and support is extended to people from different ethnicities who wish to marry someone who doesn't share the same background as them. Watching movies centered around love stories between people from different backgrounds are watched on this day, and discussions on the topic of intermarriage are held on various social media platforms. Here are some numbers for you. 3% is the percentage of newlyweds who intermarried in 67. 17% of all U.S. newlyweds who had a spouse of a different race or ethnicity in 2015. There are 11 million people who intermarried in 2015. 3 in 10 is the number of Asian newlyweds who intermarried in the United States in 2015. 27% of Hispanic newlyweds who intermarried in the United States in 2015. 1/4 is the number of recently married black men who had a spouse of a different race or ethnicity in 2015. 36% is of newlywed Asian women who had a spouse of a different race or ethnicity in 2015. And 39% of adults who said that marrying someone of a different race is good for society, according to a survey conducted in February of 2017. So, what do you want to do today? Host a barbecue? Attend a festival? Watch a film? Yeah, do all 3. 5 facts about mixed race relationships. They are very common. Younger people are more up for it. Love struck for mixed relations. There is judgment, and interracial relationships are also fun. And why we love this day? Well, it celebrates love in all forms. It honors the loving couple's bravery. It spreads awareness. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Right? Sure does. 6:50 is the WJDC studio time. We're going to go ahead and take a break and be back with more on the DMS3000 News Live today. Coming up in the next hour, we'll look at some more holidays, get you back on track here. And at the 8 o'clock hour, the very important cyber trolling, cyber stalking commentaries. We're also going to be looking at, in the 7 o'clock hour, we'll also be looking at the Catholic commentaries for the 11th Sunday, or the week of the 11th Sunday in Ordinary Time, coming up in about 10 minutes. Okay, so with that, we'll be back, and if I can get all my settings here, we'll be all right. Yep. Okay, we're gonna play some commercials and do it there. Good. All right, we'll be back right after this.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, just $12.99. Only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
McDonald's hotcakes for breakfast. Fresh cooked and deliciously light. Served with whipped butter and syrup. Moorish. And only $1.95.
Snack time, McDonald's. Snack time.
Hello?
Get Jason warming up.
Excuse me?
Come on, guys, quit playing games. Get Bobby up right now.
I think you might have the wrong number.
What? Who's this?
Who's this? Brother, you called me. You got the wrong number,
Hey,
okay?
I don't know what you guys doing.
Freak.
This is Brad. He's using Roadrunner High-Speed Online to play along with Game Show Network's lingo on GSN.com. He got it for just $34.95 a month for 6 months. Brad hasn't left his room since. When Brad signed up for Roadrunner, he was entered to win a 51-inch Sony high-def TV. And they're trying to deliver it now.
Hey, Brad, open the door.
Sign up for Roadrunner today. You'll save money and have a chance to win one of these great Sony prizes from Game Show Network.
At Cheez-It, we expect a lot from our cheese.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cheese.
Interrupting?
Cheese!
Should have seen that one coming.
You should have, because that was... I even told you I was going to be interrupting you. Morning, sir. Beautiful day, isn't it?
We take the time for our cheese to mature before we bake it into every delicious cracker. Because at Cheez-It, real cheese matters.
Night and day, the calls. Say me this, say me that. I'm a gecko, not Geico. So stop calling me.
Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
So you want to change your name? People confusing you with Geico, calling you at all hours? What name would you like?
Komodo Dragon, please.
Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Hey, Guy Fieri here. As host of TV's Ultimate Recipe Showdown, I see great home cooks face off every week. We looked at thousands of recipes, and now the dishes inspired by our champions are all at Fridays. People spent years perfecting these. There's so much going on here. Smokiness, sweetness, big seasoning, big flavor. You gotta check this out. Ultimate Recipe Showdown menu starting at just $8.99. Give me more Fridays.
From Hasbro Gaming. Where will your choices take you in the game of life? What job will you choose?
To start filling my law firm with clients and stop filling your faces with donuts. Now get out! I'm definitely going to be a lawyer.
But watch out for life surprises.
Whoa, I'm having twins.
Congratulations! It's twins! Anything can happen in the game of life from Hasbro Gaming. Here's 2 more. Good luck with that.
All right, welcome back to David News, DMS3000 News Live. I'm your host, Jason DeCanio, on this episode 3, June 12th, 2023. Welcome to the show. It's the 7 o'clock hour. It's 6:57. We're in our second hour of the program, second hour of the program coming up. Oh, and the 8 o'clock hour is when we're finishing up. Ha! We're only on for 2 hours. I'm trying to extend it to 3 hours. My bad. Oh boy. I'm I'm getting a little bit on the goofy side today, but that's okay. But thanks for sticking around with us. We have a lot to cover in the next hour, especially the big topic, cyberbullying, cyber trolling, and all that interesting negative stuff that plagues great YouTube content creators all across the books. And we're going to look at why this is such a big thing over the next couple of days. So even if we run out of time on this particular subject, we'll pick up where we leave off tomorrow. And speaking of what we're going to be covering tomorrow, well, you know what we'll be covering tomorrow. Horoscopes, more of the sports scores, headlines, of course, the commentaries from the Catholic Church, and more of part 2 of cyber trolling and cyber stalking and all that interesting stuff on tomorrow's June 13th, episode 4 of DMS3000 News Live. All right. Let's go ahead and look at the commentaries today for the week of the 10th week of Ordinary Time. Today's commentary is from livingspace.sacredspace.ie, and the commentary focuses on the gospel reading of Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 through 12. So today we begin reading from Matthew's Gospel, and we'll continue to do so for several weeks to come. We begin with chapter 5 and the Sermon on the Mount, if anyone is familiar with that particular story. In reading Matthew's Gospel, we need to remember that it was directed primarily at a readership with a Jewish background. And in this, it differs greatly from Mark. Now, one of Matthew's aims is to present Jesus as the new Moses, transcending, but not putting aside the law given to the Israelites by the first Moses. And as the law of Moses is contained in what we call the Pentateuch, or the first 5 books of the Bible, the law or teaching of Jesus is presented uniquely in this gospel by 5 long discourses. The first of these is the Sermon on the Mount, and it consists mainly of the qualities which are expected of a follower of the new law and the new Moses, which is Jesus. Begins with what we call the 8 Beatitudes, and it could be said that these have been greatly underrated in the life of the Christian churches, Catholic and otherwise. You know, most people tend to see the center of Christian living in the 10 Commandments, and yet they really belong to the Hebrew Old Testament. They are part of that law which the coming of Jesus did not nullify but transcended. They are, of course, still valid as moral guidelines, but in many ways they fall far short of the expectations presented by Jesus in the Beatitudes. It would seem, in fact, that Matthew is presenting the Beatitudes as taking over the role of the commandments, and this is indicated by the prominent place they have in forming the opening of the first discourse. They are, as it were, a manifesto of Jesus' message and his call to see the world in his way. They express the necessary attitudes of those who belong to the kingdom. Those who have these attitudes already have entered that kingdom. Perhaps a few words about the kingdom are in order. In many ways, Matthew's gospel can be called a gospel of the kingdom. the phrase that Matthew consistently uses, however, is kingdom of heaven. And for many people, this can be misleading because it causes them to think that Jesus is talking about the next life or our life in heaven. So the Beatitudes are interpreted as conditions to be observed by those who want to go to heaven after they die. Well, this may be a serious misreading of the text. Matthew uses the term kingdom of heaven because, mindful of the Jewish background of his readers, he does not like to mention the name of God directly. He uses other circumlocutions in the course of his gospel to get around using God's name. And when he has Jesus say, "Whose sins you shall forgive, they are forgiven them." And by using this passive in the second half of the statement, he avoids mentioning the doer, God. The other Gospels have no hesitation in talking about the kingdom of God, and it is important to understand that is also what Matthew means as well. So what is this kingdom? It is not a place. The Greek word basileia is an abstract word which means kingship or reign, rather than kingdom, which suggests a territory. Kingship or reign, on the contrary, suggests power. To belong to the kingdom of or kinship of God, then, is to put oneself fully, consciously, and deliberately under the power of God, to experience that power and be empowered by it. That power is above all the power of agape, which is love. And when we say in the Lord's Prayer, "Your kingdom come," we are not talking about a future life after death, but praying that people everywhere put themselves under the loving power of God in the here and now. That is made clear by the petition immediately following, "Your will be done on earth." Our first call as Christians is to belong to enter that kingdom, and not just to be a member of the church. The church is, insofar as it is faithful to the call of Christ, part of the kingdom. But the kingdom extends far beyond the membership of the church. The church is, as it were, the sacrament or visible sign of the kingdom. And there are many examples in our present time of people who are not even Christian, who are very much full of the spirit of the kingdom, more so, perhaps, than many who are baptized. An example from the past is Muhammad Gandhi, who was particularly fond of the Beatitudes and identified with them. Today's text begins with Jesus seeing the crowds and going up a hill. Moses, too, delivered God's law from an elevated place, Mount Sinai. Now, in neither case can we identify the actual mountain or hill, although traditionally, of course, there is a hill near the northern shore of the Sea of Galilee that has been called the Mount of the Beatitudes. In the traditional way of a teacher, Jesus sits down to teach, and we see him doing the same thing in the synagogue at Nazareth, Luke chapter 4, verse 20. He is joined by his disciples, and it is not clear whether they were the primary object of his teaching or that the crowds were also included. The teaching, of course, is directed to followers and, in particular, to those reading the gospel. Jesus begins the discourse with the wonderful words of the Beatitudes. There are 8 of them, each one beginning with the words, "Happy are those." Happy is a translation of the Greek adjective makarios, which includes not only the idea of happiness, but also of good fortune, of being specially blessed. So we can translate it as "blessed indeed are those," or "fortunate indeed are those." And it is important to realize that being a follower of Christ is intended to be a source of deep happiness and a realization that one is truly fortunate to have discovered this version of life. At a first reading, the Beatitudes seem to fly in the face of commonly accepted ideals of the good life. It takes a deeper reading to see their inner truth. The gospel in general shows the great concern for the poor, that is, all those people who are deprived of what they rightfully need to lead a life of decent dignity. Why should the poor be particularly blessed? As people living in deprivation, obviously they are not, But in terms of the kingdom, they are blessed because in the kingdom where love, compassion, and justice prevail, there is no place for such inequality. The kingdom is an environment of interlocking relationships where people take care of each other and where the resources of all are shared according to the needs of all. The kingdom is a place of blessings and happiness for the poor because it spells the end of their poverty. The poor are the little ones that Jesus speaks about as qualification for entering the kingdom. And they are the last who will be first. And while poverty, in a wider sense, can be applied to all, Jesus is thinking especially of the material simplicity that he expects from his disciples, a poverty which he himself experienced with nowhere to lay his head. Wealth can only mean depriving the needy of what they should have. Matthew is unique in using the term poor in spirit. It is a significant addition. And while the gospel in speaking of the poor is mainly and rightly concerned with the materially poor, Matthew's phrase can broaden the concept because in reality, there are many other ways in which people can be deprived and regarded as poor. We are more sensitive to this in our own day with our deeper insights into psychological and sociological factors. People can, although materially well off, be literally poor in spirit. That is, they have little spirit, very little happiness, lives full of stress and anxiety and anger and resentment. These are all the results of our highly competitive, each person for himself society, which is everything that the kingdom is not. Taken in that sense, the beatitude applies to a very large number of people. And the word gentle is variously translated as meek, lowly, humble. The Greek word comes from the noun proutes. The beatitude is reminiscent of a phrase in Psalm 37. The humble shall have the land for their own to enjoy untroubled peace. Probably gentle is the better rendering. Suggests someone who is kind and caring and not particularly assertive and dominating. In our rough and tumble society, such people normally get pushed aside and can thus be classed among the lowly and the humble, but they are not necessarily meek, which suggests people who allow themselves to be trampled on. Rather, they belong to those who subscribe to active nonviolence. That is, they will never resort to any form of violent behavior to achieve their goals, but they are active and proactive, not passive or meek. We might think of a person like Martin Luther King. To be gentle in this sense requires a great inner strength. And of course, in the kingdom, there is a very desirable need for such people. It is there that they will come into their own. In some texts, this beatitude is interchanged with the following, and sometimes it is presented as an addition to the first about the poor in spirit, where gentle is understood as lowly. In this case, there would only be 7 beatitudes, a more biblical number. Mourning and happiness would seem to be contradictory to each other. It does not say what the mourning might be about. Now, the mourning we're talking about is spelled M-O-U-R-N. Mourning like mourning the death of somebody. It could be the death of a family member or a loved one, but it could be something quite different altogether. And again, we have to see the beatitude in the context of the kingdom. There, those who mourn, for whatever reason, can be sure of experiencing the comfort and support of their brothers and sisters. That is something that they cannot be always sure of in a world where people are too busy taking care of their own immediate interests. Mourning by itself is never a happy experience, but it can become a blessing when surrounded by the right people as their love and concern are poured out. And what is right? What is just? Justice is done when each person is accorded what belongs to them. A just world is a world of right relationships. In the kingdom, that is realized. And so, those who truly hunger and thirst to see justice done in our world for every single person will see their dreams and hopes come to fruition. It is a hunger and a thirst which every one of us should pray to have. Only when we all have that hunger and thirst will justice be achieved and the kingdom become a reality. We have made progress over the years, but we still have a long, long way to go. Mercy, compassion, the ability to forgive fully. The kingdom is a world full of mercy and forgiveness. And just as we will be ready to forgive others, we will find that others will be ready to forgive us when we fail in our responsibilities towards others. In the Lord's Prayer, which is a prayer of the kingdom, this is what we ask for. Forgive us our sins because we forgive the sins of those who have offended us. In fact, it is impossible for those who belong to the kingdom to be offended, and forgiveness comes easily to them. That does not mean, of course, that we condone every wrong, and the question of justice always remains. But condemning wrong does not exclude healing wounds caused by the hurt which wrongdoing causes. And mercy, understood as compassion, is a particularly desirable quality in a kingdom person. Such a person not only experiences pity for those who suffer, but knows how to enter into and empathize with what they are going through. This was a quality found again and again in Jesus himself. Pure here is not referring primarily to sexual purity. The pure in heart are those whose vision is totally free of any distortion or prejudice. They see things exactly as they are. And as a result, they have little difficulty in recognizing the presence and the action of God in the people and the environment around them. This purity of heart, this ability to be able to see with perfect clarity, is truly a gift, and it requires a high level of integrity on our part. But the rewards are enormous. Some people have seen in these Beatitudes a portrait of Jesus himself. And certainly the Beatitudes should be the portrait of every Christian and of every kingdom person. They are the charter people everywhere, and not just Christians that are called to follow. They go far beyond what is demanded in the Ten Commandments. The commandments are not so difficult to follow, and insofar as several of them are expressed in the negative, thou shalt not, they can be observed by doing nothing. And there is no way, however, that people can ever say they observe any beatitude to the fullest. They always call us to a further and higher level. There you have it, folks. A very interesting commentary about the Sermon on the Mount today. What we take from this and what I have just explained to you, I haven't explained. The thing is, I didn't explain all of the Beatitudes because time was running out on it, and I didn't want to spend all the time on it. But you can further read more about the Beatitudes and get more commentaries just by looking up the Beatitudes. Google it. See what's going to be done. Bofas on the Sofas is here. Good morning. Cowabunga to you, too. Thank you very much. All right. Now, let's get to the meat and bones of the subject that we've been trying to get all this time. And I'm going to pull it up now. And it comes from the Wikipedia. Now, here's the thing about stuff that comes from the Wikipedia, folks. I want everybody to understand that this is just, this is just a broad topic, and that there is more subtopics to it. Okay? I want everybody to understand that. And this is all for my trolls and haters out there. This pertains to you. Okay? We at the David3000 Network, and those who have channels like myself out there, and all the content creators, putting out the materials and the entertainment to take care of you and to, to make you feel like you're part of the team here. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to, be part of the family. When you come in with your comments and your trolling and your defamation of people and you start blaming others instead of blaming yourself, this is when things get heated. Okay. And I've seen this happen to many of my good friends. I won't name them. You know who it is because you've attacked them. You've attacked me. And this thing is an ongoing thing that's been going on for the last 12 years, and it finally needs to stop. So today, we're going to be looking at cyberbullying from the Wikipedia. Here we go. Cyberbullying or cyber harassment. It's a form of bullying or harassment using electronic means. They're also known as online bullying, and it has become increasingly common, especially among teenagers, as the digital sphere has expanded and technology has advanced. Cyberbullying is when someone, typically a teenager, bullies or harasses others on the internet and other digital spaces, particularly on social media sites. But we can also add right now that most adults, and most of them over the age of 50, are doing this. So if you've got no life on the out of your life, and the only life you think you have is the one that is on the computer, think again, because, you know, probably you're one of those people who probably trolled in your time. Okay. Now, harmful bullying behavior can include posting rumors, threats, sexual remarks of victims' personal information, or pejorative labels, hate speech. Bullying or harassment can be identified by repeated behavior as an intent to harm, and victims of cyberbullying may experience low self-esteem, increased suicidal ideation, and various negative emotional responses, including being anxious, frustrated, angry, or depressed. Now, let me go ahead and stop right there. Okay? You know, if you know who's doing this to you, it's not so much the anxiety. It's not so much the suicidal thoughts, because I sure as heck hope none of my viewers ever would think about suicide, especially if they were being attacked for not the truth, for that matter. Okay. When you are doing a show, you're doing it to the best of your knowledge. You're doing it verbatim. You're not plagiarizing. Okay. I'm telling you where the information is coming from. I've already explained this numerous times to incompetent people, folks. That's what I've done. I have basically told this excuse me, I take a drink. I've explained this to the most incompetent people I think I've ever had to deal with ever on shows. And I don't know why, but you know, all of us here have content to inform, to entertain, to inspire, to enrich, to be your best. We give you information. How you take that information and how you go about your day and how you ingest it is what makes you, you. Okay? Now, if you're the kind of person that literally takes everything offensively, it bothers you, it makes you feel like you're not so much a part of anything, then maybe you need to reevaluate things before you take in more information and overwhelm yourself. Take a few steps back. You know, stop letting your pride be the thing that overtakes you. Okay? Not sure where everybody's situation is. I'm not concerned about everybody's situation at that point. I do hope that if you're thinking that you have been attacked by the trolls out there in some way, shape, or form, that you will notify us in the community and let us know what's going on. Don't keep it bottled up. Expose it. Bring it out into the open. The best thing we can possibly do is stand together, fight against this negative crap, and go about doing us. Okay? Do you. Because that's the best thing you could possibly give to everybody is yourself. And also be honest. That's why I always say at the end of every program, be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. KISS. It's an acronym. Look it up, you know? Okay. Cyberbullying is in many cases an extension of already existing traditional bullying. Students who are bullied via the internet have, in most cases, also been bullied in one other more traditional ways before. And there are a few students who are bullied exclusively over the internet. These cyber victims are often physically stronger students, which causes bullies to prefer online confrontations over face-to-face contacts at school, which means that you internet trolls, regardless of what age you are, you're all cowards and can't face reality to save your god dang life. I'm telling you right now, if you can't confront somebody face to face with a problem you have with that said person, then you are more coward and more yellow than you've ever been in your life. Okay? Stop hiding behind a mask. Stop hiding behind a screen or a computer, and stop being fake, because you, sir, are not helping the situation. Okay? You are not facing and fessing up to what is your problem with people. And I tell you, if we can only get these people to come on to our shows and debate the issues that are bothering them, I bet you we could solve these issues really, really quickly and not have any more confrontations. But again, it's like trying to pull teeth. You can't force these people to come on to your show. You can expose them. You can make them feel low, which they don't care because they have no feelings. Cyber trolls, they don't have feelings. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't care whether you have feelings or not. That's your problem, and you got to deal with it. It's not my problem. I am not your father. I am not your mother. I am sure as heck not your brother. And I'm not your friend. Okay? So if you've got a problem with somebody else, but you'd rather come on my show or somebody else's show and bitch about it, then you're not really helping the situation. And you're going out there talking behind somebody else's back. Okay? Now, me personally, I don't have a problem with anybody unless you want to come on my show and debate me on what I think I know or what I should know. I'm always open to discussions, folks. I'm going to make that very clear. Here on the DMS3000 News Live, I would love to have people on talking about great things that inspire them to be great people. You know, I look for the good in people. I've always done that. That's why I think I have a tremendous following, and that's why we at the David3000 Network have gotten 1K subscribers. Thank you, folks. Okay? It's because we treat people with the utmost respect, and that's what we give to you. All right? And sure, this show is new. It's only our third episode in the 2 weeks that we've been on. But at the same time, we're giving you credible information, positive thinking, you know, and even though we're talking about cyberbullying today, we're trying to address the situation and make you more aware of it. Sure, the topics that deal with cyberbullying have to deal with students, young kids under the age of 18. But you know what? We need to add that all people at any age can be cyberbullied, trolled, harassed, defamed. It doesn't matter what age you are. And I wish the Wikipedia would update themselves for that. If they're not going to update themselves, I sure as heck will stop and say, hey, look, all adults have the same issues too. Because look at me, man. If you want to go back to 2011 is when I started getting cyberbullied and cyber trolled. But you know what? I've moved forward. But the guy who's been harassing me for the last 12 years, he's still out there. I know he is. Do I care? No, I don't care. I don't care about that fool anymore. But he keeps complaining, oh, you never go after us anymore. You never go on videos and talk because we've got some better things to do, fool. Okay? We've got better fish to fry. We've got a different audience to talk to get to. And we want to get to. That's the whole idea about moving forward, folks. You've got to move forward. Stop living in the past. Get on with your life. If you cannot solve your problems, go see a therapist or something. Go talk to somebody who can listen to you. Because if you start coming in and shooting your mouth off and thinking you know everything, and I've seen that before in live sessions and shows where things have happened, and my friends have pretty much gotten, very frustrated about it. They have every right to be angry because they are not going to tolerate the crap that comes on their show. Okay? When you go into a show, you better be on your best behavior. If you can't handle the fact that what they're talking about is not of interest to you, get out. Leave the show. No one will disrespect you for leaving like an adult. Okay? That's easier said than done. But if you have to say something, get it off your chest, and then put down the host, put down the co-host, and everybody that's in that room trying to do a show out of their busy schedule. They could be doing other things, but they're taking the time out to give you great entertainment and talk about things that pertain to that subject. So, I mean, for the trolls out there that are continually attacking my friends, and I know who they are, and I won't mention their names on this program because, you know, for the trolls out there that are attacking those guys out there that, you know, stop. You're not getting anywheres anytime at all. Okay? You are wasting time. You are wasting your energy, and the guys in that chat room are going to publicly expose you and continue to expose you on any given moment. So you better be prepared and put on your adult diapers, because you know what? They're going to be coming after you. Maybe not legally, but sooner or later down the line, if it continues, they will go after you civilly. So be prepared. Be prepared. And I forewarn you, it's not fun being a troll, and it shouldn't be. In fact, it should be leaning heavy on your heart, and you should have some consequential things going through your mind saying, if I go this way and I continue to troll, I know what's going to happen to me. No. You have no thought. You have no thought. All you know is, I'm just going to feed off of everybody else's stuff and throw it back in their face. That's what a troll does. Okay? So with that, yeah, it's crazy. It really is. Let's see. Awareness in the United States has risen in the 2010s due in part to high-profile cases. Several U.S. states and other countries have passed laws to combat cyberbullying, which, by the way, they don't enforce enough of, except if it was an underage 18 kid. That's the only time that the agencies will go after somebody if they're really targeting an individual under the age of 18. So all of us adults who literally been victimized over the course of how many years, and we pleaded our cases to the FBI, the CIA, and the State Departments, and all those people who don't want to help us, and we're still out there exposing these scumbags. Then we'll do what we need to do necessary within the laws to bring these people to the surface. Okay? And I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Okay. Research has demonstrated a number of serious consequences of cyberbullying victimizations. Specific statistics on the negative effects of cyberbullying differ by country and other demographics, and some researchers point out that there could be some way to use modern computer techniques to determine and stop cyberbullying. Internet trolling is a common form of bullying that takes place in an online community, such as online gaming or social media, in order to elicit a reaction or disruption, or simply just for someone's own personal amusement. See, and that's another thing, too. Yeah, I've seen some of these online gaming communities getting cyber trolled by just stupid individuals. You know, and I say to those individuals going into there trying to be trolls, you're not getting paid to troll. Who's paying you? Okay, sure as heck not the online gaming community. Okay, are you trying to do this for free, or you got nothing better to do with your time? Take up a hobby or something. Do something that makes you happy. But stay the heck off of the internet if you feel that you don't like what's being broadcast. Hey man, this is a free country. We can broadcast whatever we want, and then if we're told to leave, we'll go and leave. You know. But again, this is where the trolls really need to be put in their place. And I speak on behalf of those on the David3000 Network that work there, or who help out David and myself, and also for everyone who's a content creator who has great channels and great subscribers. you're doing your part to make YouTube a safer community. And we applaud you for that. We applaud you for it. I applaud you for it. YouTube has become CrackTube as far as I'm concerned. It's become a place where cyber trolls, criminals, and everybody else doing illegal stuff need to be put in their place and wiped the floor with. That's how I feel about it. And anybody on here who wants to debate me on it needs to come on here, get out of being a coward, and come on here and tell me to my face that I am totally 100% wrong. And if I'm not 100%, I'm not even trying to be right. I'm just trying to let you know, based on what I've seen over the course of 12 years, the chaos, the crap that goes on in the internet every day. Now, you can use the internet for good and help the people and inspire them to be the best that they can be, or you can put them down and deliterate them and defame them and make them feel like they're less important and less than you. And if you're the kind of person like that, no one's going to want to view your channel. No one's going to subscribe to you because, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have anything positive to say about people in general. And that could probably mean that you yourself, you don't like yourself, let alone other people. So I don't know. I don't know, folks. All I know is that it's a terrible thing. And, you know, we look at trolling, and this is the worst part. You know, the trolls, they're out there, you know, day in and day out, every other time, just looking at us and saying, yeah, look at them. Look at DeCanio. He's up at 7 o'clock in the morning doing it. Bro, I'm doing this because I want to do this, not because I have to do this, not because I was forced to do this, not because somebody put a gun to my head and told me I had to come on here and do DMS3000 News Live. I asked David if I could do a show of this caliber. He said, sure, why not? Look, I'm a kind of person who's been doing this for 13 years, going on 14 this September. All right? I'm no better than anybody, but I think of myself as a good internet podcast host. And you can, too, become one. Probably are. And you've got a great following. So, think of yourself inside wholeheartedly. And don't ever let anybody bring you down. Okay? Now, internet trolls intentionally try to provoke or offend others in order to elicit a reaction. Trolls and cyberbullies do not always have the same goals, and while some trolls engage in cyberbullying, others may be engaged in comparatively harmless mischief. A troll may be disruptive either from their own amusement or because they are generally a combative person. Trolling can include insults, false news, or in this case, terrorist threats. And that's where it escalates so badly, folks. You know, when you start trying to threaten everybody in a community and because you don't agree with what they have to say, and you refuse, okay, let's put it this way. If you refuse to come on someone's show after they called you out, you're a coward. You're a yellow belly. I don't care what you think pride-wise you have. Swallow your pride, fool of a troll, and get your butt on the freaking show and come out and start taking your lumps. Really? But if you can't handle the fact that somebody's going to come after you with truth and credible evidence and make you feel like the fool, hey, you know, then I'm sorry, folks. Then the internet troll is not a troll, but just a coward. And I bet you half of the population of those who become trolls are cowards because they can't face reality or see anybody in front of them. They have blinders, and all they see is nothing but negative stuff. And unfortunately, I'll tell you right now, we have no negative tolerance here on the David3000 Network. Okay? That's why I've said to everybody, if you feel threatened that your shows or your channels are being threatened by internet trolls, please come to the David3000 Network and David will take care of your shows. Protect them. Give them insurance to where they can be put on there without trolls or haters or incompetent people who don't know what's going on as far as that, and you'll be able to have the show, because look, everybody's show has a chance to be good, positive, informative, and engaged with their viewers. And I think if we look at it that way, we could end this whole internet troll to the point of it. What I'd like to do is get, a whole bunch of those internet trolls in one session and say, look, what do you got against the shows? What do you got against this person? What do you got against this person? Because if they can't give me a simple, straight answer as to why, the why question, then if you can't answer my question, then you don't have an answer. And if you don't have an answer, you sure as heck don't have any authority to come in and disrupt any show at any given time. Okay? That's just the way it is. And like I said, if we have to be the cyber police every time the moderators have to go about kicking trolls out, then so be it. And if you don't like that, then you're going to get your butt handed to you on a silver platter every time. And I told the one guy who's been trolling me for the last 12 years, I'm going my separate way. I'm walking away from you. He didn't like that. Oh, Jason's walking away. That doesn't make me a coward. I have faced you. I have called you out. I have exposed you. I have done everything I could to get you to talk. You didn't want to do it. So what does that tell me? It tells me that the guy who was trolling me for 12 years is nothing but a yellow belly coward. And if that's the case, I don't have time for yellow belly cowards. I don't have time for defamating people. Okay? Go about your business. I don't care what you had to say. I don't care what you think. I don't care about that. It doesn't bother me one bit, folks. So I say this, and why we're bringing this up today on this particular show and tomorrow's show this week is because it is summertime and lots of people have a choice. They can either go out there and enjoy the summer heat, go to the beach, do something positive, or stay inside and start cyber trolling. And we know that most trolls come out during the summertime because they don't want to be in the heat. They come out at night. They come out on the overnight. They start writing bogus articles and crap that basically is meant to be negative and hurt people. We've seen that happen. And I've been the victim of it. And of course, my cyber troll would say to everybody, he thinks he's the victim. Well, I'm the victim, he says. Yeah, most internet trolls think they're the ones that are being victimized. Dude and dudettes out there, if you think that you are the cyber troll and you're the victim at the same time, you double negative yourself. You double negative yourself. You can't be both. You're either the troll or you're the victim. You can't be both. And don't think for 1 second, if you try to be both, people are going to see right through you. Real simple. All right, getting back. Impersonation is another thing, folks, that is a big thing. And we're going to talk about impersonation tomorrow in the 7 o'clock hour. It's one of those things that I can't stand when people are coming up. The Yankees are trolls. I didn't know they were. No, brother. Well, all I got to say about that, impersonation is the big thing that we really have to watch. Okay, more than just trolling, it's impersonation. I could tell you, and I bet you've been a part of this, that your name, my name, everybody's name has been impersonated by somebody else at some point in their given lifetime. You can't tell me that another John Smith is out there doing something and the guy's name is not even John Smith. You can't tell me that another Jason DeCanio is out there, and the real guy is not Jason DeCanio. But he's using my name. He's using my pictures. He's using my videos without consent. That's impersonation, folks. But to a troll, they don't think they're doing anything wrong with it. They don't see anything wrong. They don't see any of the consequences behind it. Well, folks, let me tell you something. When you've got the evidence that a troll, a harasser, a bully is using to impersonate you, your family, friends, or anything else, and you've got the evidence right in front of their lousy face, you've got the upper hand. Why? Because then no troll is ever going to stand up and say, that wasn't me. Yeah, it was you. It was you, because we know how you act. We know how you think. We know how you write. And it's all to mean degradation. Degrading. That's what it means. Yep. That's all a troll knows how to do, is degrade people. They might want to get their point across, and they might want to say, oh, well, Jason has no clue. He's so far behind in the times. I may have no clue. Dude, I watch a little bit of news to a point where if I can't stand it no more. But I'm very well aware of what's going on in my neighborhood, around my environment, my surroundings. And whether I not choose to agree with you is none of your business. Put it this way. And I have disagreed with a lot of people. I've told them honestly why I've disagreed with them. They don't like the answer that I have for them. Too bad. Too freaking bad. You asked me for my opinion. I gave you an honest opinion. I didn't lie about it. I didn't sugarcoat it. I didn't do anything to make it sound any less truthful than what it was. So, folks, this is where the debates need to take place. And I would love to get involved or see a troll finally being grilled by the panel. And I guarantee you know what's going to happen. That troll's going to be like, you guys treat me like crap. You're always exposing me. Where? Stop making excuses there, Mr. Internet Troll. Stop making excuses for yourself. Stop making excuses for the community that you so cold partake in. If you think your life is full of excuses, trust me, it ain't that bad. But if you're going to keep making up stories about this person and threatening other people's family, that's where it really hurts, is when you threaten somebody's family members. That's where that person draws the line. It's up to that point. They don't mind the lashing out at somebody against themselves, if you're lashing out against them. But when you start talking about their family and their friends and the people that are closely attached to them, that's when the internet troll really crosses the line. So in that case, that's when, the host of all those content programs need to come out and start exposing their haters, their trolls, their liars, and anyone who doesn't, think that that they're doing anything wrong. Look, the content creators are doing what they want to do. They have that freedom. Give them that freedom. Give them a chance to go out there and make themselves feel good. No. Internet trolls, all they care about is screwing up everybody else's situation and causing disruptive behavior in the chat rooms and all that other stuff. And see, we at the David3000 Network, we don't tolerate that stuff. And that's why our channel has grown to 1,000 subscribers and will continue to grow. And we thank you for your support, because we need you to continue to be on the positive end of it. 7:45 is WJC studio time. You're watching the DMS 3000 News Live here, episode 3 for June 12th, 2023. I'm going to take a quick break. And when I come back, we're going to wrap up all of the stuff today that we looked at, and we'll tell you what we're going to have tomorrow on the show. We'll be right back, and We'll take a break.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Is Ed Too Tall Jones too tall?
I'm just gonna guesstimate.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Ooh, the flavor of tropical fruits. Ooh la la la. Banana. La, la. Pina colada. Fruit punch. Mango melon. Ooh la la. Tangerine. This is paradise. Ooh la la. So full of life. Save us. Yum.
The average American visits about 7 different websites before booking a hotel.
I totally get that. We want to make sure that we get a great hotel for the best price. But why only 7 when there are so many more out there? Next time, before you book, check on Trivago. Trivago compares live prices from more than 150 different websites to make sure that you find the best price for your ideal hotel. Hotel? Trivago.
Really?
Gotcha. Able to pick up good yardage on the play. You know, the best part of this defense is their defensive line and their interior
Hello?
linebackers.
Hey, who? What's up? Nothing, B. Just watching the game, having a bud. What's up with you? Nothing. Watching the game, having a bud. True. True.
What's up?
What's up? Yo, who's that? Yo! Yo, pick up the phone!
Hello?
What's that?
What's up? Yo, where's Dookie?
Yo, Dookie! Yo.
What's up?
What's that?
Hold on. Hello?
So what's up, B? Watching the game, having a bud. True. True.
I'll take a Whopper. Do you desire your pyrotechnically prepared beef to be customized with the addition or subtraction of key ingredients? No onions, extra pickles. And do you wish to be transformed into a two-dimensional character with yellow skin?
We have here what appears to be an alien invasion.
And the line between civilization and anarchy is eroding as
Out of my
we...
way, you punks!
Wow!
Lunchtime! Yeah, I gotta get out of here.
Extra pickle, extra ketchup, extra mustard.
How about extra get lost?
What? What's going on?
Aliens have all the fun. Your Highness, your mission is complete.
The world is going Simpsons, and BK is in on it.
I know. All it takes is a touch-tone telephone for you to play Phone Jeopardy at home. And every time you call Phone Jeopardy, you could even win the $1,000 daily prize or the $10,000 grand prize. Where? How to get that point across. Here we go. We're speeding along. Here we go. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and immediately you'll be playing the new, easy Phone Jeopardy. I like the way the card stopped in the middle of all of that, but that's okay. And to start you on your way to winning big, we've included questions from recent Jeopardy shows. Here's a 100... You want to show me the next card too, John? No, just leave them there. She drank the poison that Captain Hook intended for Peter Pan.
Tinkerbell!
Fuck 'em.
Okay, buddy, what do you think of Wilkins coffee? I never tasted it.
Now, what do you think of Wilkins?
And I always wanted to be introduced that way. No, that is the Dugout Crew. I know we're playing the wrong show here. The Dugout Crew will be with you guys on the David3000 Network at 4:00 this Thursday to talk about all about their baseball and commentaries of what's going on there. So join those guys. It should be a fun time as they talk about baseball. Speaking of which, the Mets, as far as I'm concerned, with the 8 minutes I have left on the program, I just want to say that if they don't get their acts together, they're second to last place right now at 31 and 34, and just a whole bunch of chaos going on. I mean, luckily there is a second half. Maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know. So in this case, maybe something will happen. But if I had to give you a status of what was going on over the weekend by losing 2 out of 3 to the Pirates, and then now we're going in to face the Yankees tomorrow and Wednesday. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not worried about it. It's not the end of the world as far as I'm concerned, but the way that these guys are playing, we could point fingers all day, folks, as to who did what to who, and in the long run. But something's going to give. Who knows? I wish I did. Right now, the Mets are at a D as far as grading. If we were going to grade something on that sort, but in the long run, maybe they'll get on a winning streak, and maybe it'll start tomorrow. I hope and pray that'll happen. But what am I going? What can I possibly think? I can think positively. Yes, I could. At the same time, but then I would be like, okay, yeah, still, it wouldn't be that bad. But, I'm not worried about it. But what I am worried about is that tomorrow on our show, we'll talk more about cyberbullying, cyber trolling, and talk about impersonation, consequences, what could possibly happen to everybody they will keep on this path. We'll talk about the good side of our channels, why we do our content, why we are what we are. We also have headlines, sports updates, NBA finals. Oh, what else? Commentaries more on Gospels for the 10th week of Ordinary Time. So we'll look at that. We'll news of the weird tomorrow, but we'll come up with something else. And what is today? We'll know until tomorrow. And this is DeCanio. Thanking you very much for another edition of DMS3000 News Live. And we will see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same standards. Have a great morning. And remember, be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. Yes.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David3000 Network for great more content like this one.